I think sometimes we should go back and start at the very beginning of what made this happen, because a lot of people have no idea. They don't understand at all.
Yeah.
What has happened to them. And I think very few people have read the Declaration of Independence or understand its meaning.
Mm-hmm.
I've been listening to a very delightful series of lectures by the president or dean or whatever you call him of Hillsdale, Hillsdale College. It's, just simply Google Hillsdale College. You can see this series of lectures on the Constitution and Declaration of Independence, and it's just really quite delightful. I first tuned in to make certain that whatever I had in my book was accurate. I thought, well, I compare, I would hate to have written a book that's got erroneous material, but so far I'm dead on. He just says it in different words than I do, and which, that's a good experience too, because the more ways people hear things, the more they'll come to an understanding of it. But he started off by saying what the Declaration of Independence says, and it says, all men are created equal. This is technically, I've heard it described as a declaration of war, because it technically was. They gave King George an edict that said, we've had it. And these are the things that we've had it with. And you either turn over a new leaf and stop this business, or we're going to have to go to war over it. And, of course, King George didn't pay any attention. So they went to war. And I still, it echoes in my head what this woman said over at my house one day, and she said, it isn't that they gave their lives, they gave their feet. Their feet froze. And that just, I think that is so poignant.
It is poignant.
I mean, it's just so shocking, and a lot of people don't know. A lot of people have no idea that we had a Revolutionary War. A lot of people have no idea how we came to be the country we started out to be, and have long since taken the other highway. And so I think it never hurts to continually repeat the message of the Declaration of Independence. And it says that all men are created equal. Now that's a really, people misunderstand that. And as this man in this lecture series says, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, Mr. Man, it says that it doesn't mean that we all have the same equality concerning everything. It doesn't mean that if I live in a bigger house, you're entitled to a bigger house too. If you scooch around there, it's easier for me to look at you. It means we're equal in authority. And I thought the way he said it was better than the hell I've ever phrased it. It means we all have the same authority. In other words, I have no more authority than you, and you have no more authority than me. So we are not dominant over each other. We are equal. We are equal on an equal par. And so the rights that I have are the same as the rights that you have. And you can't override mine, and I can't adulterate yours. And it doesn't mean that we're entitled to equal treatment, because I believe the way we behave, the way we act, brings the treatment that we get back from life. And it means no man in America, and that includes women, is higher or elevated above another. However, that tenet went away long ago, and we have people over us that tend to rule us, just as King George ruled, and we allow that. I listen all the time to these, should I call them patriot doctrines, that say, and they did this, and they did this, and then they put us here, and then they put us there. We put ourselves, somebody has dominion over us only in two ways, and that's by coercion or consent. And so if we allow these people, for remember, we are guaranteed, and as the Dean says, 5 basic rights in the Declaration of Independence. It says we are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It also includes the right to own property and the right to have put a government in place that will protect us from violence. So no man comes in and steals our things. It's violence. We don't have any crimes that are nonviolent. We shouldn't punish all the crimes we have. We've become the largest, as Alex Jones puts it, prison planet on the face of the earth. I mean, it's not just a prison planet. We are the prison country. And we've made a tremendous business of putting nonviolent offenders in prison, and it disrupts families. They're called decade sentences. They're called because you have children that never see their fathers. They're in prison for the time they're growing up. And we need both parents, if possible, in order to see us through our younger years. But we instituted government among men to make certain that those 5 rights are kept intact. Do we have them now?
No, they just think they're the ones that have the right to do the bombing.
They being?
The feds.
But not just the feds.
Well, yeah, that's right, because now, because of all their contractual agreements, everybody else implements the feds.
Well, it's not just the feds. We instituted governments among men to protect us and to keep those rights secure. And long ago that stopped. And it continues, and it gets more egregious every day. Here in Austin, for instance, well, first of all, let's look at the levels of government. As the Hillsdale College dean says, the federal government is meant to deal internationally. Pay attention, internationally. So what are they doing in Texas? They have no business being in Texas. The state governments are meant to take care of things domestically. And I guess the counties and cities are to do it more locally. I think we have overlapping governments. I think we have way too much government, not just at the federal level, but at the county and the municipal level too. I went to California years ago on a case, and I was in a courtroom, and the constables and the attorneys in the courtroom, because I was new and they thought I was an attorney from Texas, they were kind enough to, before the judge came, to explain to me the system in California, which is different than the system in Texas. They have a superior court in California. We have a district court and municipal courts and JP courts and county courts. And they consolidated theirs years ago because it was too costly. And I thought, how clever. So in California, they have, at their superior court level, they have ones with more, where more money is involved and less money. But they don't have duplication of staff. So I look at the money that it saves. I mean, that's an incredible amount of money. They gave up all the bailiffs and the subsidiary stuff to have a deputy sheriff as the bailiff in the county. So that the sheriff's office, which is already in place and is a constitutional office, it watches over the courtroom instead of having all this staff. I mean, it was a pairing of overabundance, as it were, and overlapping jurisdictions and jobs, and I think that's really wise. But of course, I'm certain that California still has city and county, municipal and county governments, and I want to say what I discovered this past week. I was at a study class last Thursday, and I found out that one of the people that lives south of me, about a mile south of me, his utility bill used to be approximately $200 a month, which included electricity, water, garbage, because the city of Austin has a excuse me, a monopoly on the utilities in Austin, whereas other cities don't have a monopoly and they aren't city-run utilities, and so they're free to compare comparable rates and have a better deal. Austin has a monopoly. He operates a small business on about 2 acres, and his utility bill ran about $200 a month. And starting in November, he opened his bill. It was $1,611. So he had an additional $1,411 charge, and it's called a drainage fee. Now, what service the government of Austin gives us on a drainage fee, I have no idea.